Hey everybody, it's Sue Scott of the Back 10 Feet. It is April 18th. I'm in south central Wisconsin. It's 65 degrees. Summer's here. Anyway, this is my backyard. I rent and I live in an old house built in 1899. And yeah, a little rough around the edges and then some, but it's a great place to live. I'd like to talk to you. It might be too late for some of you, but this whole idea of spring and fall cleanup, we've got to talk about it some more. We've got to address it. It really is wrong. So I've added a lot of native plants here. There were some already when I got here, and there are places to tuck things into corners and add little tchotchkes, as you can see. I always add, water places for birds and other animals. Always make sure you have some water sources on the ground, okay, for your ground-dwelling little friends. And there are some non-native plants in here too. Just want to let you know that. But what I've done is, especially here, this is my Jerusalem artichoke, a native sunflower here in Wisconsin. And see how much of the stalks are still standing? I leave those. Now, eventually, some new ones are going to come up real soon. Okay, but right now, some of these stalks could still be used by our native insects. So I don't want to take them down. If things fall or get in the way of these pathways that are through the area here that are made of the grass that's here. I think it's buffalo grass, I'm not sure. But we don't add anything to it. We never water, never fertilize, etc. But I do have a brush pile back here. I want you to take a look at that. So anytime I'm clearing anything, if I do, I just add it to the brush pile, because this can be a home for a lot of good native insects and little animals, and hiding places for birds and places they can get twigs and such for their nests. Some of my tchotchkes, like that little fence there, was out by the curb. I rescued it, painted it yellow, and now my native honeysuckle is on there, and it is starting to leaf out, as you can see. They all come back. It's okay. And just a reminder, I don't use any chemicals out here. Okay, no fertilizers, no pesticides, nothing. This area has been seeded with some native seeds and some other things. I got a lot of horsetail that comes up, native but kind of aggressive. You know, I pull as needed, but it does look like I'm getting some of our, so I see some leaves of our native violets coming up. So a lot of good stuff. There are some non-native lilies in the back here. And of course, this little area is about 8 feet wide. It's a circle. I simply extended the circle around this non-native lilac bush and added a lot of wild geranium and some other native plants around the base that are all starting to come back. And I even have a native vine up here that I've just wound around the here we go, the lilac. And as you can see, I left a lot of seed heads, wild bergamot, and then took some of the seed heads and just kind of crumpled them up and put them back into the soil there. So hoping I get a whole lot this spring and summer. A lot of leaf litter for all the creatures. One way you can help keep things looking neat without actually cleaning up is to simply use your hardscape. What I'll be doing next on this little sidewalk that goes around the house is just, I've already started, is just cleaning it up a little bit, edging it if need be, cleaning out the dirt and putting it back into the bed there. And then that helps keep everything looking neat without actually cleaning up. Okay, so you don't have to do that. We do, these were planted before I ever got here. We got some daffodils and tulips coming up. Unfortunately, here in the front, it is a hybrid of the native, oh gosh, having a senior moment, hydrangea. And it's awful. This thing gets so top heavy with the blooms. It just looks horrible, but that it is what it is. But I do have a cut leaf coneflower here that's coming back, and the sticks all fell down, but I had them up all through the winter, all through last fall. Another water dish to capture some rainwater as it comes down, and of course my sign. And again, one thing I do is I keep the edges of the sidewalk trimmed, okay, so it's nice and neat. But again, we do not fertilize the lawn here. It's on its own. Some native plants came up here last summer that I put in some seeds, and I added some more, and I think more will come up and just mix in here, which will be great. This is the neighbor's yard, actually. Oh, look, there's some daffodils. Not native, but I know a lot of people like them. Unfortunately, this blue one is, I think it's called Russian squill. I forget the botanical name. Very pretty and very aggressive and an invasive exotic. And now you can see why. It takes over. It is not native. A lot of arborvitae here in the neighbor's yard. But again, it does produce a lot of habitat, actually. And my neighbor got rid of some of his non-native hydrangea. And of course, he does have back there some beautiful red osier dogwood. He's got some wildflowers that will come up in that space back there. So that's awesome. More and more people are doing that. But again, back to the cleaning. Other than picking up stems that have fallen, maybe sweeping up some of these hardscape areas to just make them look a little neater. The beds themselves, please leave the leaves, please leave the twigs, please leave the stems. Those are all being utilized, okay? And we don't want to rake up leaves where our native Luna moths and praying mantises have been all winter and then send them out to the dump to be killed, okay? We just got to stop that whole mentality. There's my girl. They're out with me for just a few minutes, and then they'll be back inside. My cats do not roam free. Anyway, just wanted to share with you, although it doesn't look great right now, don't forget, I'm in the upper Midwest, okay? We can't have green and color 365 days a year. It doesn't work that way, okay? We got to be a little more tolerant of that. So, as things progress and a lot of my natives come back up, I'll be sharing that with you. I keep a couple of chairs out here. I just put them back out, about a week ago. We had a real warm day, so they came out of the garage and were put back out so I can sit out here and enjoy what I've planted. Okay, so everybody do your part, but please refrain from spring cleanup. Leave your beds alone as much as you can. Okay, yes, I hear you. I'm right here. That's Jenny. She has to be by my side all the time. Make sure you make little places, crevices, houses, places of refuge from predators for little creatures if you can. I got some logs here for my daughter that I'm going to drill to see if it helps any bees. Unfortunately, I also have one more non-native invasive here. They call it Creeping Charlie up here. I forgot again the botanical name. Real pretty blue flowers, blooms early, so people like it, but it's not native. So keep adding those natives where you can. And like Benjamin from Milk the Weed says, we do want to start planting dense and close rather than apart and with wood mulch. We want to make sure those plants have a good healthy start over aggressive non-natives, okay? That's about it. Oh, there's another little mini brush pile I have. And over the winter, because this is a suburban area, and I have a chicken coop in the backyard, I did stuff it with some straw because we had some really cold days this past winter without snow. There was no snow blanket, so it got really cold. So I made sure anybody in my area had access to warmth. Oh my gosh, my columbine is coming back. Look at that. This came up like this, like just in a few days. So the plants know, okay? The plants know when to come up. They're feeling the changes in climate, but they're responding appropriately. They're adapting, so give them a chance, okay? Make sure you have plenty of water sources in your yard. Leave the stalks, leave the twigs as much as you can. Create a brush pile and just let it be. All right. Thanks so much. Talk to you again soon when I have a little more color to show you. Sue Scott of the Back 10 Feet, just saying, get real, go native. That's what my friend John Sibley used to say. Thank you.